to ask you, what's your ties with all the Canadians, with Lance and Amora and the Hart Foundation and Teddy? How did you get tied in with the Canadian groups so tightly?
Just being that when I went to Calgary, Bruce Hart and all the Harts kind of invited me, to come see their houses and just kind of welcome me into their family. Really, it was really nice of them, and just being up there in Calgary, starting my journey up there. I met Davey Boy on an indie show up there. And I think that's when we kind of planted the idea that we'd start, probably work together in the future and stuff. And of course, my father being in the Hart Foundation definitely helps the fact that, people want to see it. But it is kind of cool, there's just a certain family vibe in wrestling. And then when you get into the second generation, there's even more of a family kind of respect. And then when you even put the microscope on like the Hart Foundation kids, we've all been affected by the business in some way, for another. So we all kind of understand each other and stuff like that. So,
well, I was wondering what the connection there was. That makes sense now that you tell it like that. Well, I'm really rooting for you, man, as far as I hate to call it the next level sometimes because there's lots of guys doing just fine on the indie circuit, but
I'm doing pretty good for myself. I just just moved into a new house with my buddy, so we're splitting the rent and shit. But
man, when I got divorced, I had roommates for most of my life until I retired about maybe 7-8 years ago. Well, no, about 10 years ago, I aborted the roommate plan and just got smaller places. But yeah, when you're young like you, man, a roommate thing, cut those bills in half, save your money. Stay away from drugs, alcohol as much as you can, and
I'm doing it all with wrestling, so it really feels good about that.
Well, that's great, man. I'm glad to hear that.
We've answered all the questions, but I do have one though. Is anybody from your friends with your dad? Have they kind of reached out to you at all? Just maybe like even Steve Austin or some of that nature, and kind of give any kind of other advice to you as well?
Yeah. So Steve Austin, or did I already mention that one?
I talked to Steve a little bit. I don't think you did.
Yeah. I don't.
Oh well, he reached out to me before I got in the business, and was like, "Hey, I got this weightlifting belt," and then I was like, "Well, how'd you find me?" He's like, "Oh, I saw you replied something on Twitter," and then this was like before I even started training wrestling or anything, And then I was like, you know what? If that's any sign, that Stone Cold's gonna find me and send me a weightlifting belt that says "flying" on the back of it, if that's any sign to get in the business, I don't know what is, right?
My next question is, at what point did you decide the wrestling business was going to be the path you were going to take?
Probably after I went to college, got a degree, and succeeded at doing what everybody else was telling me to do. And then I realized that was, that's not what I wanted, and I want to do what I want to do and succeed at what I want to try to do. So
that happens.
I decided to become a wrestler.
Now, you got the build for it. Did you ever consider playing any NFL football?
So I played at a high level in high school football, like a very high division, high school football. But still, we always competed with top state qualifying teams.
Moeller's one of the big deals up here in Cincinnati, and a couple others.
Yeah.
And who did you play with?
I played at Dixie.
Okay.
So we played Highlands every year, and we almost beat Highlands.
Yeah, down here the two big deals are Trinity and St. X down here in the Louisville area.
Oh yeah, our big ones are Highlands and us and Covcath.
Now, what position did you play?
I played nose guard. I was a defensive lineman. Yeah.
Well,
defensive MVP and all-star MVP.
Had you stuck with that career, Jim Ross would have been trying to recruit you to go to Oklahoma. And as you know, Jim Ross loves the football players. You would have had a path right in the front door.
Yeah.
He hired more football players than wrestlers. If you had a football career, man, Jim Ross was all over you. I don't know what his fascination about that was. Of course, Laurinaitis played with Ohio State. I don't know if he's ever going to venture into WWE or not. But, well, hell, he's still in the NFL, isn't he, Laurinaitis? I think he is.
He is. He's played. He was
Raiders.
No, he was for the Rams. I don't know if he's still with the Rams or not.
I have trouble keeping.
Somebody asked about advice. Has Bret Hart ever reached out to you at all?
I met Bret Hart at WrestleCon. It was really nice to meet him. And I was when I injured my knee, and he's like, "You should look into stem cells." And I'm like, "Bret, I can't afford stem cells."
Well, I guess that is something to look into.